Can you feel it? That electric pulse thrumming through the heart of Detroit, vibrating beneath the roar of Ford Field like never before. Has the city's long-suffering football soul finally caught fire in this quiet offseason? Is this the moment that breaks the chains of decades upon decades of heartache, of hope raised only to be shattered, of Lions fans clutching memories of close calls and soul-crushing losses like battle scars? Mash that like button and drop your belief in the comments if you're ready for the Lions to flip the script, because something monumental is happening. Whispers behind closed doors, sources close to the action murmuring about seismic shifts that could reshape the NFC North for good. Insiders say the very essence of Detroit football is in the midst of a revolution. Sneaky rumors and shockwaves rolling through the league offices, the kind of tectonic movement that only comes once in a generation. And if what's brewing is real, it's not just a ripple, it's a tidal wave, a roller coaster about to ignite that we've been dreaming of for years. The name at the center of this storm? Dan Campbell. Yes, our gritty, ferocious head coach, the embodiment of Detroit's blue-collar heartbeat, has just been thrust into the pantheon of NFL coaching elites, ranked 5th best in the entire league. Think about that for a second. 5th, ahead of legends, next to heavyweights like Nick Sirianni, John Harbaugh, Sean McVay, and even the Grand Maestro himself, Andy Reid. This isn't a sentimental feel-good story tossed around by bandwagoners. It's a declaration, a clear sign that what Detroit's been crafting in the shadows is no accident. Campbell's mileage isn't just in years. It's in the seismic overhaul of a franchise that for decades was defined by heartbreak, by the long shadow of failure so deep they could swallow entire seasons in a blink. To see him rise, to see the Lions transform under his command from perennial league punchlines into genuine Super Bowl contenders, that's nothing short of miraculous. Remember the gut-wrenching near misses, the elusive playoff victories that slipped through our fingers like sand? That relentless cycle of hope crushed. The bitter rebuilds that felt endless. The coaching changes, the draft misses, the ownership woes that held us hostage. But Campbell has carved a new path, building a culture that demands accountability, excellence, and most importantly, a refusal to settle. He's not just a coach. He's the architect of a Detroit renaissance that's shaking the league's very foundations. So, what does this mean tactically and emotionally? It means a team that has learned to maximize every ounce of talent, turning potential into performance game after game. It means players coming in and not just surviving, but thriving. It means a depth chart that finally looks like something to be feared. A mentality forged in the city's blue-collar grit that refuses to back down. Brandon Scherff and Keenan Allen. On the radar, not desperate moves from a team scraping the bottom, but sharp, calculated additions from an organization hungry for pieces that push the needle. The kind of roster management that screams championship intent. Our offense is stacked like never before. Amon-Ra St. Brown standing tall as a bona fide number one. Jameson Williams rising fast to elite status. Tim Patrick bringing veteran savvy. And a clutch of young talent like Isaac Nauta and Collie Frampton, adding layers of depth that weren't there before. This isn't depth, it's domination. Meanwhile, on defense, the return of Derek Barnes, healthy and hungry, alongside the anticipated comeback of Aiden Hutchinson, hints at a defensive core, ready to roar like the legends of Detroit past. And let's not forget Ayla McNeil, whose interior rush will be crucial once back. You can imagine a front seven so fierce, the opposition will be gasping for breath. The idea of trading defensive assets like DJ Reader, talks like that only highlight how cornerstones are sacrosanct in a team with true title aspirations. They don't create new holes just to chase short-term fixes. This is a strategy built for the long haul, a blueprint for glory. But there's something even more captivating than the moves or the rankings. It's the story of grit embodied by players like Reek, our Egyptian phenom punching above his weight. Class with relentless determination. His family's roots here in Michigan, Every play fueled by raw passion, a living testament to what Campbell's culture has brewed. A mindset where failure isn't an option because the work ethic is ironclad and the hunger is insatiable. That's Lions football reimagined. Talent developed and elevated, not wasted. Coaches and staff recognized and coveted league-wide. Careers blossoming instead of dying. Detroit has finally become the destination, a place where aspirations are nurtured and realized. But what if all this momentum appends the fragile chemistry that's been painstakingly cultivated? What if a single misstep in free agency or the locker room sends ripples that stall our ascent? Picture the wildest playoff run since the golden days of Barry Sanders, or imagine a collapse that plunges us back into the abyss. The stakes have never been higher, the spotlight never brighter. And if this domino falls as the whispers and rumors grow louder, it could unleash the most electrifying Lions offseason in history. The kind that makes us fans out of skeptics, believers out of doubters, and finally, the kind that turns the city's long, painful roar into a thunderous, unshakable victory cry. The championship window is open, Detroit. Will we walk through it? Raise your helmets, Lions faithful, because this isn't just another off-season whisper. This is the incendiary spark threatening to ignite a wildfire of transformation that will sweep through the NFC North, rewriting power dynamics with the force of a Detroit freight train crashing through the winter chill. The locker room, they say, is a crucible of tension and raw ambition, where simmering rivalries and untold stories flicker just beneath the surface, fueling a combustible environment where every play, every call, and every snap could tip the scales between glory and ruin. Imagine the rivals, the Vikings, Bears, and Packers watching with wary eyes as Detroit's renaissance gathers momentum. Their once certain dominance under siege by a resurgence born from ash and steel. Their fear palpable, knowing that the grit and grind of this Lions squad no longer merely competes but threatens to dominate with a ferocity born of decades of grinding disappointment. And in the midst of this, Campbell maneuvers with the cunning of a seasoned chess grandmaster, blending calculated risks with bold gambits, a new offensive scheme here, a defensive adjustment there, each move a deliberate stroke in a masterpiece. A strategic evolution designed not just to win games, but to dismantle the very foundations of NFC North supremacy. But throwbacks to our storied, often painful past surge like an undertow beneath this rising tide. How can we forget the gut-wrenching agony of that 0-16 season? A brutal nadir etched into the psyche of every Lions devotee, a scar reminding us of the depths from which we clawed upward. The era of Calvin Johnson, Megatron himself, whose brilliance dazzled, but whose team ultimately fell short time and again. A towering symbol of hope and heartbreaking near misses that haunt us still. The wild card losses that slip through. Our fingers like melting snow, each one a dagger to the heart. A cruel reminder that this franchise has danced dangerously close to greatness, only to have it ripped away at the last moment. And lurking in the shadows, the spectral presence of Barry Sanders, the electric, elusive spirit of a legend whose feet traced paths that no defender could follow, but whose team never quite captured the ultimate prize, leaving fans yearning for what might have been, yet also ignited a fire to forge a new legacy in his honor. It's this past, heavy with loss, yet rich with longing, that fuels every snap today, binding players, coaches, and fans in a collective obsession with rewriting history. But here's the precipice of uncertainty that claws at our guts. Will the strike of lightning that has electrified this squad this offseason also fracture the fragile bonds painstakingly built? Can the harmony forged in relentless practice withstand the pressures of heightened expectations and the inevitable egos vying for supremacy? As whispers grow into roars about potential blockbuster trades, unseen locker room fractures, and coaching decisions that could either cement a dynasty or shatter dreams, the stakes skyrocket beyond mere wins and losses into the realm of legend-making or heartbreak eternal. So I ask you, Detroit Warriors, as the shadows lengthen and the roar of Ford Field crescendos louder than ever before, Are we on the brink of an era where lions lead a new order, or will this moment pass like a whispered prayer lost to the wind? The championship window is swinging wide open. Will we charge through into destiny, or will it slam shut, echoing the ghosts of seasons past? The city waits, breath held, hearts pounding. What path will we carve next?